Just telling Adrian Edmondson about my superb improvisational skills, and then we came on the air and I thought, what is it now?
What am I doing?
What's
happening?
Now? Yeah, Adrian Edmondson, very good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
Now, you're doing, and we'll go straight in with this, because it's very unlikely without the microphones in the aerial on the roof would have got together this morning. Neville's Island, I saw I believe...
The first time,
yes,
20 years ago.
Tony Slattery, Tony Slattery. And it says something about a career when you find yourself... doing revivals of things, and you think, I think I promoted the first one of that. Tell people, because it's a tremendous piece of work.
It's a great piece of work. It's about four businessmen on one of those kind of team bonding weekends that goes disastrously wrong. They sink a boat in the Lake District and end up on a little island in the middle of Derwent water.
Did you see the first run of it?
No, I didn't.
Came out. And is that a good thing in your book?
I think so, because there's a film about it as well, isn't there? I think they made a film about 10 years ago or something.
Yes, they did.
And I avoided those.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine, because I'm playing the same part that Tony played, I can't imagine he played it anything like the way I'm playing it.
Really?
No.
Okay, so how did you approach it?
Well, he's a very cross-door, working-class Yorkshireman in my eyes. I can't imagine Tony doing that. I don't know about you. Cross, perhaps cross.
And here's the thing, and forgive me if this if this seems to have overshadowed your other interviews. When you say, "Do you know what? I was never a comedian," and everyone goes, "Of course you are," and you say, "You know what?
I don't feel like a comedian. I don't tell jokes."
No, I know, but did that then distract or hijack other ambitions you had? The fact you had this tremendous success, and there may have been no other way in. But do you, in your quieter moments, think, you know what?
When I left school, I thought I was going to Manchester to study drama, and I met Rick there. And I think we both thought we were destined for the RSC. That was our dream.
Really?
Yeah. But the only way to get... The Equity was a closed shop at the time, so we had to kind of get a ticket. And there was this little club called the Band on the Wall where you could do lunchtime cabaret and get an Equity ticket. And we did that, and that took off.
But your late night conversations would have been, Ibsen and let's go down that road.
Well, no, I mean we were huge fans of Godot. We eventually did Godot in the West End, and that's what really drove us. Ionesco and Pinter and Beckett.
And so, did you attend theatre a lot, or was it just theory?
Well, I mean, the Manchester University course was kind of very academic, quite dry, not a lot of practical stuff in it. So we read a lot. It was the 70s. There wasn't much on.
And is it that thing whereby you find yourself? Oh, hang on, I'm doing this now, but in fact, I'll do this for another year, maybe. And then
there was never a plan. There was you have kind of vague aspirations, don't you? And I'm sure you're much the same. Most people in the world are the same. You just kind of take the path of easiest.
But does that colour you getting roles now? Do you think I've really got to go through an extra texture here with a caster or something to say, you know what?
Well, I've had to kind of lay fallow for about 5 or 10 years to start getting cast again, and I'm getting cast again now as different things.
Yeah. And you say lay fallow. Other people say, he hasn't been offered any work. It was a conscious decision, was it?
Well, yeah, I did something else. I went and made documentaries and had my band and stuff like that. So I did other stuff away from comedy to kind of lessen the memory.
Yeah. Of course, growing up, I think you was only one, weren't you, when you were whisked off to Cyprus and then...
I was, yeah. My dad...
What's your earliest memory? What is your earliest memory?
Well, I know that because I know no one else could remember it. It was hiding a penknife in the storm drain in the army camp in Berengaria in Cyprus. Must have been about 4. Because I wasn't allowed a penknife, so I used to hide it under this ledge in the storm drain.
Yeah, and how old would you have been then?
I think 4 or 5.
So were you...
And I remember cutting myself with it, and I was closing it, and I closed the blade right on my thumb. You can still see the scar. Look there.
Man alive, you can indeed.
And I bled
That's why you weren't allowed it.
I bled so much that when I got home, my mum had to put me in the bath to wash me to find out where the cut was.
Oh. And did you continue with the knife beyond that, or did you...
Oh, yes, I have a keen collection of penknives, hatchets.
Stuffed all over the house.
Extraordinary.
Halberds.
And how long were you touring? Because your dad was a geography teacher in...
Yeah, well, I mean, they were out for my entire school life, They lived in Uganda at the end, and eventually sort of...
When did you come back then?
I came back. I got a scholarship to a school in Pocklington.
Yeah.
So I came back in the early 70s.
But so that age is quite an advanced age. So was it a familiar country?
No, not at all. I didn't know any of the references.
That's extraordinary.
Everyone at school had kind of, Tinker and Tucker Club. They knew what that was. I didn't.
Oh.
And I remember I didn't even know what the Goons sounded like. I don't know how, but I had books of Goons scripts.
Yes, I did used to put them out, yeah.
And I used to read them, and when I got back to England and eventually heard the Goons do them, I thought, they got the voices wrong.
Wow.
And it's not Moriarty, it's Moriarty.
Oh, wow. See, I've never heard such an interpretation. You see, I must say, I didn't realise till a couple of years ago that was the upbringing you had. I'd just assumed that it'd always been there. So you came home and Britain was a fairly alien culture.
Yeah, I'm like a Ugandan Asian, basically. No, I am, I mean, I came at the same time they came, because we all came back when Amin sort of started kicking everyone out. And
did you have this... is there anyone that says, you know what, I think I'll probably end my days abroad?
No, well, I like Italy, but I'm not keen on the further reaches of the world anymore. Well, it all seems really hard work out there, doesn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah, I know.
There doesn't seem to be much comfort. I'm getting to the gin and tonic stage of life.
Well done. You're 6 months older than I am, and you got 2 grandchildren. Listening kids indoors, come on, let's go. But you got 2 grandchildren. How was your... because you've obviously been through it with your own children. How is when they look at, what Dad used to do and what Granddad used to do?
Well, I don't know. There are only 2, and
no. But is that? Do you want those who will leave the sort of DVD on the side for them to see? Or
I remember with my own kids, we didn't used to let my kids watch Bottom.
Quite. You know what? Quite right.
It was a bit weird for youngsters, and they didn't know the young ones at all because on the 25th anniversary of the young ones, a DVD came through the post, and we were at breakfast. Mm-hmm. This is when this must be when they were in their mid-teens.
Yeah,
and I opened it and it was on the breakfast table, and they said, "What's that? Is that you?"
Did they really? Is that you?
I said, "Well, do you want to watch a bit?" And they said, all right. So we trooped into the telly room and put it on, and they kind of drifted out after about 20 minutes.
That's a shame, because it does stand up and to say the least.
Does it? I think it looks really
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
Well, do you know, they've edited them a bit.
Have they?
Yeah, because, they used to be kind of 36 minutes long, and they've all been kind of edited down to the regular half-hour sort of slot.
Yeah, so I suppose so.
So they've managed to kind of save them a bit by cutting out some of the worst stuff.
Yeah. And do you have any props? Do you one of those actors who keeps any props? I mean, Vivian stars on his forehead. Yeah. Is there a little?
I've got a painting that was in Guest House Paradiso. When Rick's showing them around the room, he says that. It has got a sea view because here's a painting of the sea, and it's a really poor little oil painting of the sea, and I've got that. It's up on my wall.
Yeah. If there's a piece of work, you mentioned Paradiso there. Is there a piece of work you think, that's what I'd reach for first if I was going to say?
Do you know I made a huge mistake with Paradiso in that I urge anyone who puts it on the telly just to turn the brightness up.
Really?
I'd watched Delicatessen. Do you remember that film? Delicatessen?
Yeah.
Because I directed it, and I'd watched that before, and I was thinking how funny that was. And so when I was discussing with the lighting cameraman how to light it, I said, I want it like that. And if you turn... The comedy should be bright. It should be bright. This is just one quick fix.
Maybe said
if you watch it and turn the brightness up, it's hysterically funny.
But it looks like
if you watch it the way I did it, it's kind of... it's a bit sticky.
But you made pop videos and stuff, which I just imagine couldn't be brighter.
I loved that. That was one of my favourite periods.
Tell us some of the bands. Who did you work with?
I did Squeeze. I did a few for Squeeze. I won an MTV award for Squeeze.
Did you really?
Yes. Hourglass won best
Did you do Hourglass?
I did, yeah.
I apologise for not knowing that. That's one I can absolutely see.
Yeah, it's got lots of sort of tricks in it.
Dali-esque. It is extraordinary.
Yeah, bending guitars.
Yes,
melting
it has.
guitars.
Exactly. I remember didn't know that was yours. And your storyboard, was it?
It was, yeah. Entirely my idea.
That's
what I liked about that. It was like doing our O-level.
I tell this story every week, but here it comes this week. Mid-year tells when Ultravox were making Vienna and they wanted to do it themselves. They went to a record company and said, we want to do the next one ourselves. And they said, fine, it's all great. And they said, we need some advice. And we'll go away, bring back the storyboard and we'll see what you got. and they all got outside and said, storyboard, and swear to God, they went to Ryman's to buy one. They did. That's what they thought. They went to Ryman, can we get a storyboard? They thought it was actually the physical thing you wrote on.
You needed.
Yeah. And when you took ideas, I should imagine Squeeze was slightly different, but the groups have their own highfalutin notion.
Not really. I mean, I made one for More Bad News, because I directed More Bad News.
Yes, of course, yeah.
And there was one in there, and who was that band did Prime Mover? Zodiac Mind Warp came to me and said, we want one a bit like that, you know, sort of tongue-in-cheek heavy metal. So I made one for them with tanks crashing into a nunnery.
Oh, there's a budget. There's a budget. Okay.
Oh, we nearly killed a caravan with that.
Well, that's a question I was going to ask, because so much of the comedy you've done has been physical. Has there been actual injuries that were?
When we were live on tour, we were in and out of hospital quite often.
Seriously?
Yeah, because live you've got to get nearer.
Yeah.
You know, on television you've got angles to work with.
Yes,
you
of
can
course.
leave quite a lot of air.
Yeah.
Live you've got to get a bit closer, and we were forever kind of opening each other's eyebrows up.
Man.
And it was always very funny when people bleed on stage.
Of course, yeah.
You know, the audience are watching this kind of knockabout comedy and slapstick, and they're all laughing at it. You know, people getting kicked in the balls and stuff like that. I think that's really funny. And then he got me with a metal jug. And I was just pouring with blood.
Man.
It didn't hurt, but I was just, you know, round your eyebrows.
It's the famous boxer's nick. And I should imagine
the audience go really quiet. They get really scared.
And how much do you have to trust your sound man who's going to do the clunk at exactly the right time?
Yeah. We've had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah,
because it often went wrong.
Exeter City, there's the other thing. You know, you've both got St James's Park in common.
Yeah, actually,
yeah, but
on Twitter,
ours has been called St James's Park longer than yours, because yours spent a year being called something else.
Well, not officially, not in our eyes. The Sports Direct Arena, which didn't last very long, thank goodness.
But where's that come from?
I live down there. I live down on Dartmoor, and
right.
And I went to see them about 12 years ago when they were dropping out of the league as a kind of bit of Schadenfreude, and I just got hooked. We went out of the league, and then I started to go. We got Man United the next year in the FA Cup, and that was quite good
rather
fun.
well. But so don't talk to you about.
And we won last night against Accrington Stanley 3-2.
You do go then?
Oh yeah, I'm a sponsor of the. It's a trust-owned club, you know.
Yeah.
And I sponsor the manager's kit, Paul's kit.
Well,
every year I get one of his T-shirts. Doesn't fit me.
Let's talk about the physical side. How long have you been wearing glasses?
Since I was about 4.
And why is that?
Because you can't see.
No, I thought it might be a penknife incident again. I wonder if it might be a penknife incident.
No, I just can't see.
And did that traumatise you as a kid? Because incredible though it seems, nobody remembers the idea when glasses were seen as, four eyes and all that, whereas now, of course, could be more chic.
Yeah. I know. I couldn't imagine. There was that time when one of my cousins, she got some glasses just because she wanted something to look kind of intelligent.
My oldest daughter failed her eye test. She was distraught. Yeah. But I'm sure I could do it. If I did it again, I'll get it more wrong. She used to do that. But it was...
I went through the early kind of lasering thing. And then did all that, but it only lasted a few years. Really.
Yeah. And the subject now, but it's not treading on any toes here, because I'm a fellow traveller. When did you lose your hair? When did you first shave your head?
Well, I started growing it back. Look,
I didn't want to mention the word plugs or implants. Yes, you are.
No, there's no implants.
But you,
I shaved it originally to be Eddie. You know.
Was it for the role? Really?
Yeah. And it was just, we were doing it all the time, and we were on tour all the time, and we were. There was a period through the 90s where we were doing it all the time, so I just became a slaphead, really. And
is there? In the same way as Blue Bottle was apparently based on a scoutmaster who came round to Spike Milligan, sent him round. Spike Milligan met the scoutmaster and sent him round to Peter Sellers' house. And Peter Sellers opened the door and he said, "Hello, my name's whatever his name was, Rufus." And Spike Milligan says, "I'm a genius." And he said, "That's where Blue Bottle come from." Was Eddie anyone?
Eddie and Richie are basically Eddie is Rick's idea of what I am, and Richie is my idea of what he is. We basically wrote each other's parts, and they're exaggerations of ourselves from the other's point of view.
Yeah, and
he always used to think I was a lumpen, stupid oaf. Probably right. And I thought it was an aspirant.
Yeah, exactly.
Something that rhymes with anchor.
Yes, and he and the character himself. I mean, as you say, you took the time off to get away from that. Yeah. But I'm just seeing your faces. There's so much affection, thinking, "Oh, Eddie."
Well, he's in there,
Yeah.
And I do love him. He's got a great kind of philosophy. you know.
It's you've got now
get
come
born, keep your head down, and then you die if you're lucky.
And the hiatus you've gone from comedy and this thing about you don't do it anymore. You do it. I take it. Should the thing come along?
Well, I do. Yeah, I mean, I'm doing it now in this play. So I mean, it has a lot of jokes in it, and I hope I spot them.
Yeah.
You know? And so it's kind of in there. I just
did you find, Adrian, you ever or have disappointed one-on-one meetings with people who come up and think, you are going to be a scream.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel nothing but the same. I feel the same way when I meet famous people.
I know what
the
you
thing
mean,
is, they all turn into human beings, you know,
Yeah.
and human beings are essentially just quite nice. They're not gods.
But,
I walked into a pub once and Nick Cave was in there, and I thought, I'm not going to meet him because he's just going to end up being ordinary. So I left.
I've got
I thought, I can't do it. So him and Bowie, I'm just never going to meet them.
Oh, that is the one I normally,
I met Tony Visconti a few times.
Yes,
so I'm near the sort of Bowie thing, but I don't want to meet David himself.
I did, and it's the only time that my annoying ebullience and my natural exuberance spilling out all over the place failed to win someone over.
Do he hate you?
Yeah, no, I just didn't know it. No, I just sat down with him. He was doing TFI Friday, and I sat down with Bowie, and it's the same. My usual stuff. He just okay. All right. And about 30 seconds in, I thought, we don't know each other. We actually don't know each other. And not only, he doesn't want to know.
You wanted them to say, me and you are going to go and get on it.
I'm the same if I ever see Bill Murray. I know we're going to have a great day. But the character you represented for so long...
Yeah.
Must have actually attracted a certain type of crazy...
When in the kind of... when was that? 80s. There was a time when people used to want to fight me.
No.
Because I was Vivian off the telly. And they just wanted to fight.
And if they'd had a frying pan, they'd have hit you with it.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And it was kind of a bit sticky, because basically I'm just a middle-class, ordinary person.
Well, we drifted towards music a moment ago. Just a little of this, if we can.
They're planning another one next year.
You won't know this. This was the national anthem until 2 years before you were born.
Britannia, you are cool. Take a trip.
Now, I was in Led Zeppelin for 25 minutes. This is a story I'll tell you. Yes, I was. But you really were part of the Bonzos.
I still am, officially.
Go on.
Yeah, no. I was in touch with Neil yesterday, the day before.
Oh.
They're planning another reunion. When they had the reunion 5 years ago, a group of us joined. There's about 6 comedians trying to fill in for Viv Stanshall.
Yeah.
And then 2 of us, me and Phil, went off with the Bonzos on tour. And then we made a record with them.
Yes, you did, yeah.
And then we sat down to dinner once with the Bonzos, me and Phil, and Neil said, and as Aid and Phil are now actual Bonzos, we just trembled in our chairs and really wet ourselves.
Keep your BAFTAs.
Yeah.
And that last album, of course, was a terrific record. That Wire People is as good as anything
they've
ever
done.
Great,
isn't it?
It's wonderful.
Yeah. That's me on that. That's my singing.
Well, there you are. I couldn't have chosen a better track.
Thank you. Well done. I thought you'd done it on purpose.
No. I know my stuff. But the music side here, which looks like it's dilettante, just what we need another actor being.
Yeah.
But it's more than that for you. Plainly, it is with the kind of schedule you give yourself for it.
Yeah, we do a lot. You're talking about Bad Shepherds.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we just really enjoy it. You know, we're kind of 3-piece that knows what it's doing. We know how to have a good time, and we go out and have a party.
Now, you say that what really turned around was the punk period, but pre that, and I was very much involved in it, but most of my affection and records I play now, is pre that. Who did you like in the early 70s when you came back to Britain?
Well, we were listening to Bowie, and we were listening to Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Free. Argus.
Did you? Oh, no, the King Will Come and Time Was. Don't worry about that. But
Sutherland Brothers and Quiver.
Yeah. No, you and I could run through all the names. We've already mentioned Spooky Tooth on the show today, by the way. So what was the first concert you went to?
I went to see Procol Harum.
Did you?
In York, yeah. And it was a really annoying gig.
Why?
I was about 13 or 14, and they... Because they only only song they had out that I knew was White Shade of Pale.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't bloody play it until the 3rd encore.
No.
They waited for 3 encores.
Yeah, because
I thought, poor form.
It's heavy.
Got to do that at the end of the gig, not as an encore.
No, and when you go out, tell people what they expect to see when they go and see Bad Shepherds.
Well, Bad Shepherds, we're a folk band, but I don't really like folk songs. I like folk instruments. I like pipes and I like mandolin. I play the mandolin.
How did that become your instrument of choice? Because
I just I bought it on a drunken spree.
Did you really?
In Denmark
I've heard
Street.
that story. I've heard that story.
Yeah,
we did.
You know, every Christmas, there's a group of us, and we go out and have lunch, and then we go down Denmark Street and buy something inappropriate when our wives aren't watching.
Oh, I see. All right.
And one year, I bought a mandolin, and it's just gorgeous. It just makes a gorgeous sound, and it made the whole project possible because it makes you play in a different way. And it makes it a different sound immediately.
Do you work that into work? I mean, there's no... on Neville's Island, I take it he doesn't suddenly...
No, I don't suddenly get the old mandolin out.
No, I was going to say, the old George Formby, you always managed to find somewhere...
I've got a part in War and Peace that they're making next year.
Are you?
And I've got to play a stringed instrument in that. I don't know what they're trying to make me play.
Oh.
But I might have to have a go at the balalaika.
But by the way, you're in War and Peace next year.
Yeah, I know, that's good.
That is something, a film.
Yeah.
A film of it.
I'm playing an old count.
Are you really?
Yes, you heard me correct.
There you go. And does this come... Is it American money? Is this someone who knows anything?
Oh, it's a BBC Harvey Weinstein co-production, I think.
Wow.
It's a big deal.
I'll bet.
Huge,
filming here or over
filming in Lithuania and St. Petersburg.
And how is the diary these days? Not suggesting, of course, you're going from Peter, but is it working, this idea? And forgive me, it's not reinvention, but the idea that...
It started working, yeah, because we're doing the plane, then I'm doing that, and then there's another place sort of hovering around for after that.
And you're, like me...
War and Peace takes 6 months to film.
The joke was to read, of course.
I've nearly got 2/3 of the way through the book. I thought I'd read the book.
No spoilers, please. And like me, you're 6 months older than me, so that means 60 is hoving too. How's that feel?
Not bad, actually. I think when I got grandchildren, I kind of accepted that I was the age I am, and I don't really mind anymore.
Yeah.
I think it's quite cool.
Yeah,
I'm cool with it. It doesn't bother me anymore.
I particularly.
I actually feel healthier now than I did.
You look
when I was in my 40s. I think I was a fat, unhealthy person then, and now I'm kind of worked out another way of living.
Yeah, and has that happened just through age, or did you think there's still something?
No, it's through philosophy.
Really, go on.
Yeah, I started. I had a lot of people around me died, and my dad died, and Rick died, and a few other people died, and I discovered Stoic philosophy. And one of the things the Stoic tell you is you're in control of very little in your life. You're not in control of what other people think about you, what the weather is, what the world economy is. You are in control of what you think of yourself and what you put in your mouth.
Yeah.
And if you think about it hard enough, you get thinner. Do you know? Because you think about what you're putting in yourself. It's a weird thing. It's happened sort of by accident.
And are we talking John Lennon style macrobiotic, or is
no? I eat nice stuff. I just don't eat all the time. I meant
to come round to that because you are ex-winner of MasterChef and all of that.
That's not.
I think that helped as well because I don't eat rubbish anymore. I don't eat snacks. I just wait. I think, I'll wait till tonight because I've got something really nice to make tonight.
Me and you both. I lost 4 stone, but in tragic circumstances.
You had it cut out of you, didn't you?
I never talk. Exactly. That's the other way. Of course, if you don't want to do the philosophy and just want to remain shallow and a Pollyanna, then you might want to do that. Adrian Edmondson, thank you so much.
Well, it's a pleasure.
Tell us about Neville's Island.
Neville's Island is on for another 5 weeks at the Duke of York's.
Yeah, it is. And you encourage Yorks to shout out, "Where's Eddie?" I apologise. That's a red rag. But Adrian Edmondson,
I should tell you who else is in it. Because it's got Robert Webb in it, and it's got Neil Morrissey, and it's got Miles Jupp. It's a good four-hander.
Yeah, but look, shaking his head while he's doing that is...
Obviously they're not as good as me.
Those bums, those amateurs and the Reeves, who cares? Adrian Edmondson, thank you very much indeed.